Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I am Chelsea. You know that. I know that. I'm just a lady with a bulldog who's back there, so he's behind my chair, so you're probably gonna hear him snore, a camera, and far too many opinions. And I have more opinions and some receipts to back it up regarding the MLM that we talked about previously that was being super sketchy and pandering to patriots. And I just had so many questions. So where this rep was saying that she left Beachbody because, let's be honest, it's most likely because they restructured their pay structure and she was at the very top and making now less money than she was previously. She posted all about the longest Instagram stories in the world about how she was looking for another MLM to join and how she tried multiple different ones, and then she ended up joining this one called Living R3, but she didn't say the name of it, she didn't say who the founders were, she didn't say all of this, and she was saying to DM her because she wasn't supposed to talk about it publicly yet, which is very strange. Of course, I did DM her at the time. Since then, per usual, she has blocked me. Again, that's okay. Like I always say, if I was them, I'd block me too. We watched that video and we were just assaulted visually and audibly by this man, David Harris Jr. I think that's his name, right? Something like that. And he was saying things that their multi-level marketing company is going to benefit certain companies or ministries, organizations that fight against human trafficking, which is also weird that they say like sex trafficking, because it's like, isn't that just the R word? Someone brought that up in a comment and I was like, oh my God, that's like, yeah, that's a good point. We talked about that. We also talked about how those organizations that he had mentioned are sketchy as well. And we're going to go into that a little bit more in this video. But then one thing that I thought was really interesting was that he was saying that him and his wife had been in another MLM, and they've been in multiple, but apparently they've been in another MLM for like 15 years and that they've been in this industry for so long, except for the problem was with the last company is that like they loved the product, they love, the structure, but apparently things had been being run in a certain way on like the corporate MLM side or whatever of the company. And they were like, we don't like this. We're going to go start a new one. So they started a new one. He said that they had like licensing rights to the product. So it's the same vitamins or supplements. I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like what, how would you be able to do that? I don't get that. I looked into it because one of you spicy couch potatoes sent me an email that was like, hey, my mom's obsessed with this guy. And so I looked on his Facebook page and I saw that on one of his posts, he had a link to where you could purchase certain vitamins. And she was like, oh, that's weird. That's not the company name like Living R3 in the URL. However, he's promoting the same supplement. So like, that's strange. So they clicked on the link and it redirects you. It's like Uncorked Health and Wellness, something like that, .com or whatever. And she was like, yeah, and then it redirects you to the Living R3 website. So she's like, that's strange. So I thought that was strange too. So I looked everywhere. I stayed up one night, as y'all know I do, hunched over my computer, fallen down the rabbit hole like a little ravenous raccoon with my tiny grabby hands, just sifting and digging through the stinky trash heap that is this man's social media and his digital footprint. So it turns out he was the founder and CEO of this company, Uncorked Health and Wellness. And I've heard of some obscure MLMs from just straight from the pits of hell, like on the just crazy isolated corners of the globe. A globe doesn't have corners, Chelsea. You get it. Who am I? Magellan? I don't know. I had never heard of this one. And yes, of course, it was like years and years ago, but still, like, it's like gotta be obscure if I've never heard of it, right? There's not too much about it out there, which is very interesting. So that leads me to believe like, hey, maybe this wasn't a super popular MLM. Maybe it wasn't super successful. And I looked on his LinkedIn and like I said, he was the CEO and founder since 2012 to currently, it says to present. So maybe he just hasn't updated it. That's all right. A lot of people don't update their LinkedIns these days. But what it seems like is that he didn't leave one company and start another one. It seems like he rebranded Uncorked into this other company and is just selling the products that they already had, like the original MLM, their products. And he became, from what I have seen in my own opinion, it seems like he became more popular during the pandemic, and maybe he took that pandering during the pandemic to the, I don't want to say like the fringe right, but like the absolute pushing it at that end of the political spectrum. I think he took that and he was like, you know what, I'm a lot more popular now, whatever. So I'm going to, instead of trying to push this MLM that I've already had that's like failing, I'm just going to pretend, in my opinion, that I'm starting a whole new one. And marketing wise, that is a smarter idea to like come out with like a whole new thing for, you know, to drum up some whatever. So I also tried to find like maybe he isn't the actual CEO of this. Maybe there's other people involved. But then I looked it up and Living R3 is actually registered. Living R3 LLC is actually registered under his wife, Skylar. And I find that very interesting because it's like, why are you not attached to it, buddy? Why is it not under you? Is it so that you can get like grants or some type of something, tax break, whatever, for having a woman-owned business? Is that why? Is your wife actually the CEO and founder, or is it you because you're more front-facing? Like, what is that? Don't get me wrong, I'm all for taking like tax breaks and like legal loopholes when it comes to taxes because like F the government. I don't know what they're doing with my taxes, but then also if they actually gave me like an itemized list of what all of my taxes are going to, I would pay more to like solve the issues we have in our country. I don't fit in a box. So I think it's very interesting that he was saying like, oh, we didn't like how the other company was run. It's like, buddy, who was making those decisions? You were the CEO and founder. So what are you talking about? And it just seems like this entire like made up, like ground floor, you know, story that he's made up is what I think. I don't know that to be true, but that's what I think. I had a few comments on my last video that they were like, why did you pick a picture of him wearing a MAGA hat? Like, why did you, you know, why are you mentioning that they're like this, that, and whatever? I am not shaming conservatives. I'm not shaming Republicans. I am not shaming people who are more progressive, independent, libertarian, socialists. If you love Bernie, Trump, Biden, whatever, liberals, Democrats, I'm not. I'm never going to tell you who to vote for or anything like that or shame you for voting for someone. Please, for the love of God, just make sure that you are registered, and it's okay for us to disagree on things. Hell, most of my family are conservative Republicans, and not like hateful in any way, but I'd say it's safe to say that me and my husband are the most progressive people in our family. And I think that's just important to say. I'm not shaming you. It's not about you. It's about these people, and there's a culty aspect to each very edge of the political spectrum. It is a spectrum. There are more than two options. Mostly nobody fits in a box. So just please keep that in mind. It's okay when it comes to cults and high control groups and multi-level marketing companies. We are going to have to talk about these certain little political things. And also, as a woman, as a bisexual woman in a hetero-facing relationship, I not only think it's important to correct misinformation and just hateful rhetoric against not only Jewish people, but against drag queens, against the gay people, against my other people, humans in the alphabet mafia, and then also to speak on women's rights when it comes to our uteri. That's plural for uteruses. So, anyways, that's me on my soapbox. I just want to make that clear. It's important to use your platform in a way that you are comfy to do so. So, yes. Anyways, I just wanted to make that clear, and I think that's really important, and that's a culty aspect of these MLMs. And let's be honest, the only reason multi-level marketing companies have not been made illegal is because the Direct Selling Association and these specific MLMs have lobbyists, and they push so much money into the government and into these elected officials. So it's crazy. I mean, Betsy DeVos, whatever, however you say their last name, they created Amway, or they are the heads of Amway, and they are the Amway family. They are a head of a cult. And yet she was the, Secretary of Education. She's never had to take out a student loan. She's never been in debt because of that. Like, why are you in that position? It's because these companies have so much money and this industry has so much money that they can pay to make it so that there are these legal loopholes, and it just doesn't matter, right? So there you go. That is my rant. That is my soapbox. However, let's continue with how crazy this MLM is. So I've received multiple emails from multiple people. Also, yes, I'm going to talk with my hands a lot because I have long nails right now. I'll have these linked down below. They are beautiful, amazing. I love them. And they're from Glamnetic. Okay, not sponsored, a bottom myself. I have notes here, so let me just read these real quick. So the Mans had talked about how Tim Ballard the head of Operation Underground Railroad was like one of his friends, whatever. And then he also mentioned Victor Marx. Both of them were or currently are heads of organizations that are nonprofits that are involved with like human trafficking, like advocating against it, whatever, and trying to help people. Well, Tim Ballard had to step down from Operation Underground Railroad due to being a menace and a creep and allegedly a predator. That shit is crazy. Like, ew. And it's just truly insane that like the people who are sometimes the loudest against certain things are the villains in that storyline themselves. One of you actually mentioned, and it reminded me of this as well. It's kind of like the episode of The Blacklist, back when The Blacklist was like so good and they were just like going through different people every single episode. It's amazing for the first few seasons. Investigating a organization like this, and then it turns out that the head of that organization was actually the head of like a huge like human trafficking ring, basically. It was insane. Then he ends up like killing her, I think. Anyways, it's a really good episode. It's crazy, plot twist, all that. So, well, I mean, he like forces her to drink a poison or something, I think. I rewatched it during maternity leave. I have multiple people who have emailed me who have said that people they know personally have gotten involved in this MLM and they're being super secretive about it. And apparently, allegedly, I do not know this to be true. It has been alleged to me. I know that's annoying. Sorry. These people would probably try to sue me. So with that, they have apparently told the people below them, like the head leaders, whatever, of this MLM, have told people that they shouldn't like promote it normally how you would an MLM and talk about it nonstop. That they said to like be more secretive about it. So of course, like when they're doing their vitamins, they're like turning it like the Modere people do with their like fudgy collagen pudding gross spoon. And they're like, I lost 1 billion pounds eating this pudding on my gold spoon. And it's like, Deborah, no, you didn't. No, you didn't, Brittany. Stop. Turn it the right way. Be honest. It's insane. It's my least favorite type of marketing. And that's just really creepy, and that they like extra can't be open about it. And then there's also people who are like, yeah, my brother, my sister, my aunt, my cousin, my mom, whoever have said that like company or the people who recruited them are telling them that they're going to be making like $80,000 a month. And it's like, how can you make that when they've told you that because of legalities or because of like lawsuits or something, for some reason, you can't publicly talk about this MLM. So how are you going to be able to recruit a bunch of people? One, you don't have a following like that. And then two, you can't even see the name of the company. Like that's already a huge red flag other than it being an MLM. It's crazy. Another thing that we talked about in the first video was where they talked about how it was this whole aspect of false altruism. Like they're trying to recruit you. And one of their main things of like how they're getting people in is the false altruism and like tugging at the heartstrings of like, oh, well, this company is gonna help organizations that have to do with like advocating against and like breaking down human trafficking or whatever, right? And it's like, if you want to give to those companies, you do that. Take the money, the $100 or $150, $120, whatever, I think it's like $100 that you would joining this company and donate that. Then you get that tax write-off. Then you actually know for sure it's going to that company or organization, whatever, and not this MLM, because you actually don't know if they're ever going to do that. The way they were talking about it is like, yeah, this is just a good idea we have. And it's like, okay, so this is like Transact Card where they have the fine print at the bottom of the email. And it's like, they don't even, like, it's just like, all of this is like not forward facing. Like this is all like future predictions that we kind of hope maybe happen. We kind of hope we can stop human trafficking. Who knows? But you should definitely give your money to us so we can donate it. No. If you want credit for doing that, if that's the only reason you want to join or because of the supplements, then just donate yourself. Or how about this? How about if you want supplements that are super, super good, just talk to your doctor. Buy normal supplements. And also, if you don't have a deficiency with like a certain something or like something wrong with you in a certain area, taking extra or like twice the dose of a certain supplement, it's not going to do anything for you. It can actually be really dangerous. So please don't do that. For instance, I have an iron deficiency. I bruise super easily. I get real tired and all that. Right? And also I got like sticky blood too. So my like platelets are, I don't know, sticky or some shit. So I have to take fish oil or omega, whatever. And then I have to take iron supplements too, because those like levels in me and are not at where they should be. So I take those vitamins and all that to supplement the areas that I'm like, dipping down in. If you're just normal and you got none of those issues, taking an extra dose twice, whatever, is not going to help you. Again, like I said, it can be detrimental to you. Also, a final point that I want to make. If you're hearing that these supplements are so amazing, don't you think they would have been, talked about when it was with the other MLM? Don't you think that this MLM, because the products are so amazing, don't you think that the supplements would have been talked about? Don't you think we would have heard about the last MLM? Don't you think that they would have been sold out? Do you think they would have had to rebrand? A company that's doing super successfully will never rebrand. And don't be like, oh my God, well, Facebook, is Meta. No, Facebook is not Meta. Facebook and Instagram are under the Meta umbrella, just like YouTube and Google are under the Alphabet umbrella. So I don't know how these people are trying to act like this is amazing, this is so great, when, girl, they're just pandering. That's it. Get it together, okay? Anyways, make sure you're registered to vote and make sure that you actually look at people's policies and where they stand and all that. And don't just vote for someone because you don't want someone else to win. That's not. And also, that's not good. And also remember, no matter what, all politicians are corrupt and we're all gonna die, because all of our options are garbage. All right, so I appreciate you. Sorry for getting a little on my political soapbox, but it had to be said, especially when we talk about this specific type of MLM. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about politics or religion or money unless it is pertinent to the conversation and the context of the conversation and furthers the point that I'm trying to make. All right, appreciate you. Stay spicy. Remain assertive. Remember that your feelings are valid. You are beautiful. Your butt cheeks look like two beautiful, oversized, ripe cantaloupes. And I can't stop looking at it. Not to make you uncomfy, but get it together. Put that thing away. Anyways, you're amazing. I appreciate you. Subscribe, like, and comment. If you made it this far, leave a wine glass down below because cheers to cheap wine. Okay? And typically wine being buy one, get one at Publix like every week. Okay, goodbye.